Hi, I'm Jeanette from Growth Unlimited, and we've been talking about narcissists. We've talked about what it is that actually makes a narcissist diagnosable. We've talked about what you can do if you're dealing with a narcissist. And now we're going to talk about something else about narcissism that I didn't think about until a friend of mine called me after I'd had a conversation with her about how to deal with somebody that she thought was narcissistic. And she called me back and she said, Jeanette, what if I'm narcissistic? What do I do? I had to laugh. Because first of all, if someone is worried about being narcissistic, the odds are they're not. Because a narcissist is somebody who thinks they're perfect and that everybody else has the problem. So if you think that you might be narcissistic, you're probably not going to be in the ballpark. But on the other hand, everybody has narcissistic tendencies. We all have certain times that we want to appear more important than other people. And we all have times that we may do things that are a little bit aggressive and a little bit socially inappropriate. And if you think that you're caught up in that kind of behavior, there are things that you can do. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And it's really, really simple. A narcissist typically has no capacity to think about anybody else. That's the overriding thing that people see in terms of working with a narcissist. So if you think that maybe you're displaying some of those tendencies, that's the first area that you need to work in. What can you do to pay more attention to someone else's needs than you are for yourself? If you think that maybe you're talking a little bit too much about yourself, or you're feeling a need to get your message out and you're having a hard time because you don't think that people are listening to you, maybe you need to take a look at whether you're listening to them and focus a little bit more on paying attention to what they are saying and what they are feeling. Use a little bit of that emotional intelligence that you have to understand where they are coming from. And that will be the biggest thing that you can do to demonstrate that you are not a narcissist. Okay, also, one of the things that that I know I find myself doing occasionally is I get tempted to pass a judgment on somebody else's behavior. I may, if they're doing something that annoys me, or something that isn't quite the way that I figure things ought to be done in the world, sometimes I have a tendency to judge them and criticize them. And those are kinds of things that I would think of that would be kind of narcissistic in terms of my behavior. And so one of the things that I try to do is make sure that I don't judge somebody else. Those of you who know me well know that I have a firm belief in believing that everyone has the right and the responsibility to take responsibility for their own decisions. And it's not up to me or up to anybody else to tell somebody what they need to believe or what they need to do. That's on them. And I work very, very hard to keep that in place. But it doesn't stop me when I feel a little bit put out or a little bit irritated by something that somebody else is doing. It doesn't stop me from having some of those feelings. And what I have to do is be very, very careful that I don't act out on that internal judgment. The internal judgment is very natural and it's very normal. It's something that everybody does. We're socialized from a very young age to have that kind of thing. And we're also socialized from a very young age in our society to think about ourselves first. And so one of the things that I work really hard on doing is keeping my focus on helping other people. and not telling them what to do and not forcing my attention on them, but being there to help if they want to accept. So that's another thing you can do. Here again, if you think that you're being narcissistic, keep your focus outside of yourself. Because a narcissist overall is going to be focused on themselves and what they want and what they have to do to get what they want. Another thing that is very helpful when you are thinking maybe you're showing up as a little bit narcissistic is delay gratification. Just because you want something doesn't mean that you need it right now. And so when you delay that gratification and make it worthwhile, then you are demonstrating that you are not narcissistic. And lastly, don't engage in activities where you're calling people names or saying bad things about other people. Those are the kinds of things that a narcissist does. And so don't get on Facebook and call a politician you don't like a bad name. That's a narcissistic tendency. And so if you don't want to be called a narcissist by other people who are looking at your behavior, make sure that you follow the guidelines that you need to follow to be sure that you're not being narcissistic. I'd like to hear from you. How do you feel about what I said? Do you think that maybe you have tendencies to be narcissistic occasionally? And what do you want to do about them? I'd love to have your comments below about this video and about what you feel about what I've said. Also, if you liked the video and you found it helpful, subscribe and share it with your friends so that everybody can be involved in the conversation. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, and I'll talk to you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.
Growth Unlimited's mission is to help you have your life your way. We want to help you take control of your life so that you live the life you've dreamed of, that you deserve. We have a proprietary program that helps you do just that. Check us out by visiting our website and take our free assessment to see how we can help you.